Beautiful.
Yeah, so hello everyone, and I am presuming that we are live on LinkedIn. I am not sure about it completely, but it is showing that we are live. So I will go and trust the technology today. And I want to welcome the business coach and life mentor, Dipanshu Rawal. I thought about introducing him, and when I am thinking of introducing him, I am reminded that I connected with him on LinkedIn around last year, and he reached out to me. He sent me a connection request and he reached out to me on DM, and then he invited me to his Facebook community. And I watched videos, and even before we met around a year ago, I was somewhere being guided or being helped by Dipanshu. So it's one of the things that I think we can come back on when we'll talk about how to start with coaching. But yeah, uh, currently I'm working with Dipanshu in his group coaching program, the Lotus Circle. And I was looking forward to do the LinkedIn live. I was thinking of a lot of coaches where to start with. And then suddenly Dipanshu offered me that if someone wants to start, wants to do a LinkedIn live, start with me. And I quickly latched onto that opportunity, and here we are today. Hi Dipanshu. So would you like to say a few lines?
Sure. Thank you so much, Ashutosh, for having me here. Yeah, whatever you mentioned, I remember we connected a year ago. I remember you watched a couple of videos before we got on a call. And yeah, we started working together a month ago, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it's not been a month.
Yeah, not
Yeah,
not yet. Almost a month, not yet.
almost a month.
Yeah. And yeah, I'm very grateful. I asked this to all of my clients that, hey, if you wish to start a LinkedIn live series or something on video and you want to invite guests, why not? I'm here. You can start with me.
Well, I would say that thank you very much for that opportunity. And because of those choices that you made, we are here today. And I believe that this LinkedIn Live is going to serve people who are going to watch it and in ways that even they have not thought about it. So starting with my first question, and it's a very simple question, although, and it goes like this. So coaching is something which is considered bit new. Like whenever I go and I tell people that I'm a life coach, so most of the times like I get a very weird response, which is most of the time they are not even aware that it is a profession. And so I want to ask you that who can benefit from coaching? Who is it for?
Yeah, I do agree with this, Ashutosh. So when I started as a life coach about 3.5, 4 years now, um, most people were not aware. Most
Hmm.
people, I think, I talked to maybe like 3,000, 4,000 people as a life coach. Out
Hmm.
of them, probably 2,000, 3,000. So like 60, 70, 80% of those people have never talked to a coach before.
Hmm.
So it has always been, a lot of times it's been, a weird, uh, unique expression. Ah, you're a life coach. I've
Yeah.
heard that term. What do you do?
Yeah. So
So,
are you like a motivational speaker?
oh yeah, that's one of the most common questions. Okay, so you give speeches, you go to colleges and give speeches. I don't think I do that. But
Hmm.
yeah, so that being said, over the years, I've seen how much it's growing, one conversation at a time. I
Hmm.
have had like hundreds of, clients in those 3 years. And I know those 100 people have talked at least 10, 20 people in their life about life coaching.
Hmm.
So imagine in just few years, um, 2,000, 3,000 people got to know about life coaching from me, from my
Hmm.
clients, right? And imagine how it's going to be for you in the next 2, 3 years. Imagine how it's going to be, all the other participants we have in the group. So it's like a very exponential um, growth,
Yeah.
exponential growth that's going to happen, right?
Yeah.
People start learning more and more about it. The more we talk about it, so it's like, kind of a responsibility as well to educate
Yes.
people about this, right? And to answer your second question, about who can use some coaching, right? So for that to answer, we need to understand what coaching is. Okay. For sometimes coaching is about holding your client's hand. Sometimes coaching is offering a perspective that they never thought of. Sometimes coaching is inviting them to a different ball game, inviting them to play with a different tool, right? Instead of playing, always thinking how can I succeed, instead of that, playing with a different tool, like how can I enjoy this, right? So like that's one of the example. Sometimes coaching is being a cheerleader for your client, and imagine offering them all the space they need to be heard, to be seen, to be understood. And so all these different scenarios all together make up what coaching is. And who can benefit from it? Honestly, everyone can use some space to be heard, to be seen, understood, right? Some people would appreciate coaching more than others. Some people are not ready to, be in somebody else's energy of love. A lot of people are not ready to feel seen and heard, right? So maybe for them, coaching may not be the best thing at that time. Some people would need therapy more, but everybody could use some taste of coaching, like a little spoon of it. Like who's ice cream, who is it best for? Wrong example for diabetic people, but ice cream, who is it best for? Everybody can use a spoon of it. Why not? It's sweet. It tastes really good. Why not?
Yeah. Yeah. And one more thing regarding that question is that oftentimes I think it's a misunderstanding and it's very common to have that from because of the place that we come from. And it's that people confuse it with therapy, or they consider that I am doing very well in my life, so I do not need any kind of help.
Yeah. Yeah. So regarding the confusion with therapy and coaching, that's true. Most people confuse it because they have some issues in life and they want help. So help can be counseling, coaching, mentorship, therapy, consulting. Help can come in different ways, right? The more we educate people what really coaching is, the more they will be able to differentiate what is therapy and what is coaching. For example, if I ask you, would you like some frozen yogurt versus, would you like some, I don't know, ice cream based on water? Because you have tasted both, you know what's the difference, right? And you would know what you would really want at that moment. Would you want this A type dessert or would you want B type dessert? The only way of knowing it is actually going out and experiencing it. And as coaches, it's kind of, our job to help people educate or offer them some experience. Again, I don't know why it's just coming to my mind, the ice cream, metaphor, but offering them, spoons of ice cream. Hey, would you like to taste it? Why not?
Yeah. That's a very, very good way to go about it. So one thing that I was going in my mind was that so I believe that if I did not become a life coach, if I did not choose to become a life coach, and I was just going about my life and doing other things, so it would have been very hard for me to understand actually the benefit of coaching. And I would say that I would have never made a choice, or it would have taken me a long time to make a choice that I can benefit from life coaching.
Yeah, I can totally understand. Yes. It's
Yeah,
like you need to taste it.
yeah, because I got into coaching and I started coaching clients, and when I coached my first client and the results I saw in his life, I I understood very early that, oh my God, this is something which is one of the most transformative, powerful tool that I have witnessed. And so that started my journey that I want to have my own coach as well.
Yeah.
But
I-
how about people who do not have that privilege, who are not life coaches, how will they come to that understanding?
Yeah. So one thing is being very, so like what has helped me was being very open to help yourself. Um, my whole journey started in, I think, 2016, when I went through my first episode of depression and anxiety, and I was looking for a psychiatrist or psychologist, and I fortunately met a psychologist, therapist, and I went through therapy, and I got better very quick, like long lastingly. I still have had therapy over the years, once every 3 months, 6 months, 9 months. um but I got very bad, like I got better quickly, compared to so many other people. And I asked this to my therapist. I said, what do you think what helped me? Like, how come I was able to, overcome all this so much quicker? And she's like, I remember the word she used. She said, Dipanshu, you were shamelessly open to receive help. Like, you were very shameless to get better. So what that meant was, even in the first or second conversation, I opened up like everything. Like, what, I want to get better, and I know you can help me do that. Ask me anything, I'm here to answer. I'm not gonna feel ashamed to answer anything. And obviously, I tried my best. I still couldn't open up, 100% in the first 1 year, 2 years. It took me, there were like, I think, 2, 3, 4 instances that held a lot of power in me, that I have offered so much power to, that had so much shame and guilt associated, that I have associated guilt and shame with those 2, 3 incidents. I actually opened up with a therapist like last year about it, after 7, 8 years into this journey. So 100% perfection, it's going to take some time. I still feel there are some things that I don't feel open to discuss with everyone, like with my coaches and therapists. But how much can you open up, and how soon can you do that? How soon can you be open to receive some help?
Yes. I think one of it, the reason can be because in our life, most of the things or most of the conversations we have had, we are not like, most of the times we are judged, like, or we fear that we are going to get judged. And so we are not able to like express ourselves or come from that place that, oh my God, I am open and I am going to share things. We always come from that place, even if we are trying in the beginning. It's like, what should I say? Or should I share this? Should I share this? Or should I share this? So yeah, a lot of it has got to do with the life we have lived.
That's very true. So I believe that what worked for me, and obviously that's not something that, to show you that how great I am. Obviously, at some point, it took me some time to overcome my ego as well, to actually, be open to receiving. But at that one point, the one incident that I remember, the one I mentioned with my therapist, um, I was ready. I was like, you know what? I don't care what anybody else says. Like, I felt I was at rock bottom at that point, and I wanted to get better. That's like the only goal. I want to get better. I don't want to feel this kind of anxiety. I don't want to feel so hopeless. I don't feel, I don't want to be this way. I want to change. And like, that's the only focus. So what other things, what I think does not matter. I need to get better. That's it.
Yeah. So the only thing that matters is that you're coming from a place where you have that fire and desire that I want to change, and no matter what.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay. So let me ask you another question. Something which is okay. So my question is that sometimes it happens that even I used to think that I am doing meditation, I am doing reading, I am doing journaling. I have a very good routine. I am watching podcasts as well. So why do I need coaching then if I'm doing all of these things?
So doing journaling is self-reflection. It's self-creation, right? Let's categorize all those things that you did. Doing journaling or meditation, that's self-reflection majorly, or self-creation. Okay.
Yes.
Doing reading books watching podcasts, YouTube videos, masterclasses, courses. That is consuming content. Okay. Coaching is co-creation, coaching and mentorship. So I would want to be, in the presence of my coach or my mentor because I want to be in the presence of their energy, because that will help me co-create something better. That's how it's different. Like, that's the most technical answer to your question. How it's different? Meditation, journaling, you do that with yourself. Coaching and mentorship, you do with somebody else who has walked down that path.
Yeah. Yeah. And in my journey, that the difference I see, that because I was doing meditation, journaling, and reading books earlier, and when I hired a coach, so I realized that first that my affinity to take action increased drastically. So, and there were a lot of things that I was avoiding, and I was not taking action on them, even though I was doing all of these things. But because the fear on those things were so high, that I was somewhere, even after knowing all of these things, I was avoiding it. But when I had one person that I know that I have to be accountable to, it just changed the whole game for me.
Yeah, that's what we see in our group as well, right? The Lotus Circle group we have. I ask each of you to send me a weekly reflection.
Yeah.
Sometimes for people who are not responding, I reach out to them personally. What's happening? What's going on? Once a week, you have to tell me what's up. We need to stay accountable. It's okay if you are failing. It's okay, if you're not able to keep your commitments. At some time, there will be ups and downs and all that stuff. But yeah, are you being consistent with yourself? Are you at least reminding yourself what you promised?
Yeah. And when we are watching all those things, reading a lot of books and even doing journaling, we somehow like start consuming a lot of content, and there is no, the intentional action is very less because we do not have that direction.
So exactly the distinction between consumption and creation, right?
Yes, yes.
Going through the books, podcasts, and everything, those are for consumption. And sure, sometimes you would need to consume something in order to create. But what's the balance? What's the ratio, right? What
Yeah.
are you create? And as you said, coaching and mentorship does help you create those actions, help you co-create your future with the help of your coach.
Yes. Okay, so my next question is, so I want to talk about values again. So values first, as for any person, why is it important to know their values and like take action based on their values, and how that comes into play when you are in the game of coaching?
Sure. So a lot of people, I dare say most people are living in scarcity mindset, being afraid, you know, working from one day to the other, living a default life, right? Based on what their parents think was best for them, based on what their partners thinks was best for them, based on what their relatives thinks were best for them. Well, whoever is watching this, if you're, especially if you're from Asian culture, I'm gonna ask, did you do a profession just because you thought it would look good with your relatives? Right? I know this because I was in a profession just because everybody told me, what, you should be doing this. You're really smart. You should be in sciences. Most people are living that way. And we see that this trend, this movement of taking self-responsibility, a lot of people are going out of that pattern. They are creating their own life. What does that mean is taking accountability, taking not accountability, but taking responsibility of where you want to go, right? Co-creating that or creating your own life. And the best way to do that is by setting a strong foundation. How to create a great building, setting a strong foundation, and
Yeah.
eventually build upon that. That's how anything is created, right? So values is the number one thing I work with, with my clients when they start working with me. What are your values? Let's get very clear on the basic um, foundation we want to start the building on, right? What do I mean by that is, what are the intentions, what are the feelings, what are the emotions, what are the in short values would you want to start your life on? And everybody has values, even if they don't know about that. You can see that based on their actions. Show me, your calendar and tell you what you value in your life.
Yeah.
So, and that being said, so when you create a very, when you start living a created life, you start creating yourself, when you start creating your life. And when you do that while working on your values first, you'll have a very strong foundation to build upon. Right? So there are values of honesty, relationship, money, success, abundance, spirituality, curiosity, love of learning, um, love of nature. So what do you prioritize? What's your value? For example, service is one of my topmost values. I really feel like myself when I'm serving someone. Curiosity is one of my topmost values. Like, I've always explored stuff. I love exploring new things, new ways of doing business, new businesses, new topics in terms of, I don't know, world events sometimes. Right? So what are your values you want to create your life on? That's one of the first questions I usually ask people. And there is a free online test, VIA test, value in action. So it tells you, your top, I think 10, 20 values, something like that when you do the test. Yeah, does it answer your question?
Yeah. So my question is that you answer my first question. My second question, that how it comes to how your values comes into play when you are in the coaching business.
When you're coaching, yeah, so we talked about as a person, regardless of if you're a coach or not, how does value come in your, life?
Yeah.
Values also tells us what you prioritize. So like it's in very essence, like what do you value in life? So what do you prioritize? For example, if we create a priority list for our values, let's say relationship came at number 3 and money came at number 7. What does that tell me is that anytime when there's going to be a clash between relationship and money, like some money issue with somebody you really, have a good relationship with, you're going to prioritize the relationship. Right? And these values keep exchanging the orders based on different circumstances and situations. When you become a life coach, for example, if you really like helping people, like that's one of your values, right? Helping people, serving people. Being a life coach is one of the best professions.
Yeah.
One of the professions, right? It gives you so much freedom of time, of money, of who you want to work with. Obviously, it comes with so many challenges of its own. Like you have a world, you have to show up, you have to, be ready to be seen in the world. So many fears.
Yeah. But again, if adventure and learning is one of your values, then you will also like really enjoy this profession.
Exactly that. If curiosity is one of those values, you'd really enjoy that. If stability comes before adventure, you may want a stable job. Why not?
Yeah.
Right? For you, if you think stability comes before adventure, you'd want that. And different life circumstances will, have different values. For example, when you're single, maybe adventure comes on the top of your list, like top 5. Stability comes like at 20th number. And when you're married, you have a kid, maybe stability came at number 7. and adventure is maybe 11.
Yeah.
Values keep changing, and when you're a life coach, it becomes even more important. As a life coach or even entrepreneur in general, what are your values you want to create a business on? Even if it's just a general store, if your one of the values is connection or relationship, that means you'd wish somebody, good morning every time, or like good morning or hello, every time somebody comes at your store to buy something. That also means during, let's say, summers, if kindness is one of your topmost values, you do something kind. Maybe there is someone you can help, right? Does it answer your second question?
Yes. Also, I believe that when we are aligned with our values, when we are aware of the values that we have, and when we are taking action in alignment with our values, I feel that's only when true satisfaction comes.
That's very true. Values are nothing without action. So values are only true if you do some action. For example, if honesty and transparency are your values, and you see something bad happening in your home, like somebody having a secret, right? And you value this relationship, honesty, and transparency, and if you're not doing something about it, it's not any of your values, right?
Yeah.
Action.
Yeah. And if it is, then it will keep you bugging until you do something about it.
That means you're in misalignment. The same goes for curiosity. Let's say you have curiosity as one of your values. And if you don't practice curiosity, what would it even mean? Like the word has no meaning if you don't have action associated with it.
Yes. Okay, so I think we are almost time. It's been 30 minutes, but uh, just one last question. Okay, yeah. So this is a question for a lot of new coaches, people who are starting as life coach. What is the most important thing they need, like to put themselves out as a coach? Because I know that is a scary thing. It's not easy to put yourself out as a coach and then tell people that I am going to help you, I am going to serve you.
Yeah. So I'm going to take this question in a coaching form instead of a mentorship form. Um, so we talked about values in today's conversation, right? My invitation would be to write down the first 5, 7, 10 values that you think you have.
Hmm.
Prioritize the top three, like write down topmost three values that you associate yourself with the most. Focus on them. That's what you as a person would need the most. Your coaching profession is just going to be a reflection of you.
Hmm.
So if your topmost value is curiosity and playfulness, let's focus on that. That's what you need to grow your coaching business.
Hmm. And that itself will help the person to bring themselves out as a coach.
It will.
Hmm.
The most um, aligned, authentic success you will get in coaching, in any business, in any job, in any relationship is going to be when you're in alignment with yourself.
Yes. Hmm. Yeah, I agree with that. Although, yeah, sometimes it may seem like a very small thing, but yeah, if we just take action on that and work on that part, like do the inner work, it's all about taking one step after the other.
Exactly that.
All right then. Anything else you want to share?
Yeah, so thank you so much, Ashutosh, for having me on this conversation. And I'm really glad that you and I are working together. I'm here to help you out. I'm glad that we had this conversation because yeah, I'm gonna send out this link to even my network, my audience. I really hope this helps people who are watching it.
Yeah, I'm sure it is going to help a lot of people, and I want to thank you for being here, for having this wonderful conversation. And yeah, that's it for today. I hope that like we do this more and more often, and we get to talk, like you said in the beginning, that it is our responsibility to talk more about coaching and help people understand how it can help them and how coaching can create a better world for all of us.
Beautiful.
Okay, then, for everyone who is watching and or everyone who is going to watch in the future, that's it for the LinkedIn Live today. And thank you for joining. See you next time. Bye.